Great. Welcome, everyone. I'm so excited that you guys are joining us today. If you wouldn't mind, we have a lot of people who are not in here, and I would really love some help with technology. So if you see someone coming in, that would be wonderful to be able to.
I'm admitting everyone.
Awesome. Thank you, Dr. Susan. I so appreciate that. Oh my goodness. Before we join every Sunday, we set the intention, and I just feel this incredible deep appreciation. As we were setting the intention, it really connected to the heart and the spirit of why we come here every Sunday. And so I'm so excited that that will be radiated out through this call. So today is June 16th, 2024. And we come together every single week to be able to discuss the principles and the stories of this book, Ancient Secrets of a Master Healer, a Western Skeptic, an Eastern Master, and Life's Greatest Secrets. Today is Father's Day in the United States and possibly in other countries. I didn't look that up. So I want to wish all of the fathers happy Father's Day to those who celebrate. And also, I was a single mom, and there are a lot of mothers out there that take on both roles of father and mother. And I really want to honor those women as well who have done both. And so anyway, we are so excited to be able to talk about the honoring of fathers, and sometimes there's conflicts, and we'll be able to talk about that later on in the call. I'm reminded that one of the very first steps of us even being here and being able to enjoy the ancient secrets is that Dr. Clint he had just come back from India, and he had a stop in New York City, and he met with Marion G. And he was sitting in front of his father's desk, and his father was telling him that he didn't think that he was going to be living another week. And with angst in his heart, Dr. Clint said, "For Father's Day, I would like to give you a ticket to LA to visit with Dr. Naram and have your pulse read." And, you know, it just really touched me as I was reminded this was a Father's Day gift. What an amazing gift. And because of that gift, we are here today pretty much, because this is now the foundation of his father's healing. And so I'm so deeply grateful for that. In the chat, I would like you to mention a memorable lesson or place, or excuse me, or a piece of advice that your father or your father figure has given you that has stuck with you over the years. So that's kind of the chat question. We're going to be answering that after we do our little meditation and have a video. So I would like you to start putting that in the chat, and maybe I can do that. Is there somebody here that can do the announcements? Is Carol or Cornelia here? They may not be here. I don't think they are. Okay, so let me go ahead and we have a miracle experiment game coming up. Unfortunately, I do not have the solid dates, but the miracle experiment game is so amazing. For those of you who look for miracles, it's an awesome game. Who has played the miracle experiment game before? Awesome. Let me see. Beverly, what was something that you got from the miracle experiment game? Can you share that with us?
Yes, I sure can. The miracle experiment game was probably my introduction into ancient secrets. And at the time I was in deep grief, and we were locked in our homes because of COVID. And I kept wanting and asking for some for some playfulness, for some joy, for some company, to see people all through the entire month. And so, of course, I mean, being surrounded with the group that we were in, and it was a wonderful group, and we really enjoyed it. And at the end of the group, my miracles just seemed to unfold, and and the I actually got a little puppy at the end, which I had not expected whatsoever. And she is so playful and so full of joy. And she reminds me every day of be careful what you ask for, because she brought all of that in the miracle experiment to me. So
It's so amazing. Oh, Beverly, I'm so glad that you had that experience. You know, it's so amazing how we think that when we join the miracle experiment game, we start to see miracles, but what we didn't realize is that there's miracles all around us at all times. And we're just tuning into that. And we're consciously aware. So it's beautiful, wonderful. So once we get the dates on that, I think Carol has those dates, and we'll go ahead and get that on the newsletter and post it in the chat. Also, we have an announcement. We just got done with a beautiful gathering in Ashland with the group. And next year, we already have the place and the destination. We are going to be able to go to Sedona again. Dr. Clint has been invited to speak on the stage with Cryon. And so our dates for that will be June 10th, 11th, and 12th. So I would love it if you guys could get it on your calendar, start saving your pennies, and be able to join us in Sedona. Also, we have the trip to Nepal that will be coming up. Dr. Clint has that trip October 24th and 30th. And then one more thing. Who here has found that their creativity has spiked since they have joined the Miracle Experiment game? I mean, yeah, the global call. Sarabjit, would you be able to share some information about our art time?
Yes. Well, happy Father's Day to everybody, to all the fathers here, first of all. And yes, talking about creativity, definitely, I think it has spiked my creativity, and especially through the miracle game, experiment game, I noticed that, you know, as I was putting that in my radar of things, that's how I want to help through my art. And that's what kept coming back. Each miracle game that I played, you know, it came back, you know, that more art opportunities were coming my way. So, and that's how I got to do Save Up over here. And we are starting out in July sometime, art time. So this is something that will be 1 hour of art, fun art for anybody who hasn't even experienced art. So I'm just inviting you all. Please share it with your friends also. This is not just for our community. It can be anybody, your friends, family. It will be sometime on one Wednesday of every month. And starting, I think, on the 24th of July, we will be doing that. And you are all welcome to join us. All the creatives in our community are going to be participating. They will be sharing 1 month. Every creative person will be sharing something, and you can join doing that, or just do your own stuff and just be there and, you know, enjoy the community and the vibe and the music, and just hang out with us. So we are just inviting you to participate. And we will be keeping a fee for this, just a nominal $5, because the proceeds will be going to the kids, all the creatives over there, all the creative children, so it will benefit them, you know. So that is the purpose of doing this. So that is the main thing. That is what we are trying to do. Every drop makes a difference. So this is just our drop that we will be dropping on July.
It's so fun. We have had so much fun. We have experimented with this on the European call. Marion and Sarabjit have led that, and it was absolutely so much fun. So we're so excited to be able to have you come together and create. With that being said, we have a special message from the orphans in Nepal. Robin, would you be able to cue that up? It's so adorable. I love it. So happy Father's Day to all the fathers who celebrate and even mothers. Shifra, did you have something you would like to share?
Yeah, I had two things. The kids were so beautiful. I'm very happy. I wanted to join that art group. Sarabjit is a beautiful person. I'm glad we have the date for the next year, and I plan to be there next year. I wanted people to know if anybody's in Boston, Renara and myself are doing a benefit concert for the young people aging out of orphanages. I'll put the information in, and we're going to try to get it recorded somehow. So it's called, Renara came up with the name. It's Love is the Bridge Between You and Everything. And so it'll be like half poetry and half music. It'll be Renara's incredible music and my poetry. And I hope is gonna introduce it. And it's in Jamaica Plain, which is a section of Boston. It's the 29th. The doors open at 6:30. The concert starts at 7. Concert's around an hour and a half. And everybody's welcome. And if anybody's in Boston, you can camp out at my house. I live in Jamaica Plain. I got an extra bedroom and couches and stuff. So everybody's welcome. If you have any friends in Boston, let people know about it.
Oh, that is so fun. I love that title. So Shifra, it's Love is the Bridge Between what and everything?
And everything. Between you and everything. That's Renara's, not mine.
I love that. Renara is also going to be in the Salt Lake City area, and I'm very thrilled to be able to see her there. And I think she's also going to be in Arizona. So if anybody's interested in going, looking to see if you want to attend the concert, please send an email to team@myancientsecrets.com and we can get you that information. So perfect.
Yeah, and I'll send a copy of the flyer that she and her husband Tad made to Ancient Secrets. I don't know if I can copy it into I'm not sure I can copy that into the chat. I'll try. But
we can we can post it. Yeah, I don't think it will. I don't think it.
You know anybody, please send them our way. Thank you.
Wonderful. And that is to benefit our orphans as well. So we're so excited.
And the other thing I wanted to say, I feel like my creativity has flowered. I can just sit down. I'm so blessed that I can just sit down and write a poem just like that, That's a blessing, and everybody has gifts. I believe everybody can write poetry. I don't think it's just some special people who can do art and poetry and music, honestly. But I love doing that. So anyway, and so that's a huge benefit from this community. Thank you all. Much, much love.
Shifra, I'm so glad that you said that, because Dr. Naram says that when you remove blocks from your being, through diet, through your mind shift, the creativity opens up and it flows through. I want to invite anyone who is in a creative mindset or has, been more creative, please join. But if you would like to lead, please let us know so that we can go ahead and get you added to the calendar. We want to be able to do art time as often as possible, but we need people to be able to lead if we can. We even had one person that said, I am not creative, but I can color in the coloring book. And I thought, wow, we could even have a time where we pull out our coloring books and be able to just, have time where we just color in the coloring book. And that is just time together and just a creative, expression of being together and, the focus on the orphans and our creativity. So That's beautiful. Shipra, thank you so
Jayna,
much.
I just want to
Yes.
say that I just put my email address in there, and just exactly repeating what you said, I also put the same thing, that if anybody wants to lead an art project to come, to just contact me. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. Well, want to wish Belle a very happy birthday. Belle, happy birthday. If I don't know if you're on the call, but if you are, if you can unmute and say hello, we would love to just wish you a very happy birthday.
I am on the call, and thank you so very much. I was actually 78 years, no, I had to say 79 years ago, I was born on Father's Day. So the things do catch up. You know, there is some cycling that goes on, because here it is, Father's Day again.
I love it.
And yeah, thank you. It's just lovely to be part of this community.
Awesome. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together and send her a blast of happy birthday. And anyone else's birthday that is today or has been, happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday to you.
And to Miriam yesterday, I think.
Miriam,
Ah,
yes. Okay.
Happy birthday, Miriam. Oh my
Happy
gosh.
birthday, Miriam.
Happy birthday,
Wonderful.
everyone.
Yeah, in my honor, make today your birthday.
That's so great. We're going to go ahead and do our meditation, dropping in from our head to our heart. Robin, if you can get that picture, oh, you wanted me to get that picture queued up. Let's see. Let me see if I can do that. So every week we have people that email or they contact a golden angel if they want extra focus on in a prayer or a meditation form. This is not a denomination. The golden angels come together every Sunday morning to be able to put energy and prayers, blessings, whatever you call it, onto the people who have been in the list, as well as the people of the world. So I would like to extend that invitation out to our community for us to take 2 minutes to be able to do that. Would somebody like to keep time? Is there somebody that would like to keep time? Who would like to keep time? No?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. If you could just set your alarm for 2 minutes, that would be great. And then,
Okay.
great, perfect. Let me get the,
And since you're a co-host, then you'll just be able to stop the share. You should be able to.
okay. Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and just take that right now where we just drop into from our head to our heart. We connect with the higher self and whatever you call source, God, whatever. And I would like you to really really bless yourself. We have to be a strong foundation in order for us to be able to give to the rest of the world. Then I would like you to place a focus on that list of wonderful people who just need our extra care, our extra love, blessings, prayers. And then when you're done focusing on that, we'll focus it out to the rest of the world for peace, for love, for understanding.
Beautiful, beautiful, Jayna.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you, everyone. And I would like to ask if you, in your private meditation, if you do meditate throughout the week, if you might just put a special emphasis on that list, that would be so wonderful. Great. All right. When we were in Sedona or in Ashland, we had an incredible video that was revealed, and I'd like to have Robin play that video now, just so that we can connect again. I really feel the unity, but let's feel the fun.
Of time, secrets unfold, ancient wisdom stories untold. From the heart of ages they arise, spread love, healing under endless skies. Raise your voice, let the spirits hear the echoes of wisdom drawing near. In the dance of life, let truth be revealed. Healing a life of perfectly sealed. The tapestry of existence, woven with care, the threads of knowledge beyond. Depths of earth to the stars above, guiding souls with the power of love, wisdom. Raise your voice, let the spirits hear the echoes of wisdom drawing near. In the dance of life, let truth be revealed. For love, healing a life of perfectly sealed. Wisdom voice, let the spirits hear the echoes of wisdom drawing near. In the dance of life, let truth be revealed. Healing a life of perfectly seen. Healing of the soul in every word, healing hearts where songs are heard. Way of life in balance and grace, a sacred journey in every grace. Raise your voice, let the spirits hear the echoes of wisdom drawing near. In the dance of life, let truth be revealed. For love, healing a life of perfectly sealed. Wisdom voice, let the spirits hear the echoes of wisdom drawing near. In the dance of life, let truth be revealed. Healing a life of perfectly sealed. So let's celebrate the treasures we found in the depths of ancient wisdom. Profound for sharing love, healing and life. We illuminate the world with all our might.
You know, one of those songs that you just want to play over and over and over and over again. This is just one of them for me. I would love to hear from you and I know that we've talked about what you've thought about this song, but what did this song bring up in you today? Who would like, and if you can just come off mute. And Robin, can you stop the screen share?
Jayna,
Yes.
my internet's not so good, so I hope you guys can hear me, but like, I've been on this interesting, like, higher level feeling since I left. You know, usually when I leave something like Ashland with all that love, it was so amazing. And it was so like love in action, like right in front of your face. It wasn't like love as a concept. We were like imbibed in it and leaning into it and every which way but loose. It was love. And so sometimes coming home is hard, you know, and coming back to the real world, but like, even in the face of all the things that come back that, you know, that you deal with when you come back into the real world, I've still had this feeling, you know, of that. And so this song, when I hear the song, it just takes me right back there in that room and hearing Gary Zukav and seeing people three-dimensionally and squeezing them and hugging them and seeing Dr. Clint do his magic.
Oh, I think we lost her. And if you can come back on, you just were right in the middle of something beautiful. Ah, darn it. There you are. Go ahead. Great. Now we can hear you. Well, we did. We were. There are some others. Susan and Joseph, would you like to share with us what that song did for you today?
Back there.
Well, for me, it just made me so happy. I couldn't help moving my body. Just joy bubbled up, and I felt connected not only to everybody from our recent experience, but it just took me out to the cosmos. I mean, it was so, the images are so amazing. It's just, and then I was just marveling at Vinod's creativity and his depth, and what a gift he's given us. So that was me. What about you, Joe?
Well, absolute just gratitude to Vinod for creating this amazing, energetic piece that for me, it captures life. You know, it's full of joy and a way of being. You know, it's a storyline, but it's not. You know, it's bigger than that. And I just so appreciative. There couldn't have been a better way to kick off the event. So, Vinod, thank you, thank you, thank you.
I have to mirror and ditto. I was almost in tears this time, probably just because I'm almost in tears today, but it was just so incredible the way that he captured the essence of the mission of Ancient Secrets, and it's so perfect. Julia, you have your hand up. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, hi everyone. I was just gonna say, yeah, for me, this morning it did bring back all the memories of the event.
Or you just eyes were so little.
Oh, hold on just a second. Let's get muted. Go ahead.
It's okay if you are.
Okay. Okay. Anyway, yeah, just the magic of the event, how it started with music and the frequency of music in that kind of a beat. And immediately I felt my body, the cells in my body and my spirit and my emotions, like everything in my whole soul and being elevated. And it's the power of Vinod using his creativity. We talk about art, you know, that is an art, the creativity of music and words, the words he put together to create this high vibration and bring us all up to a higher frequency so that we could be in tune the rest of the day with these other high frequency experiences that we are going to have. And even this morning, you know, I had already done my morning routine and some work, and this just took me up like at least 3 more notches just listening to it. And it made me have that desire inside to do more of it. Like it created in me the desire to be creative. And I think when we're exposed to the arts and of every type, it inspires us to say, what could I create? And what could I do today to create a high frequency for someone else? And it makes me want to like get that song and get the words to it and read them over and over. And so I just love that it raised our vibration.
I love that. And I think Vinod is on the call. Vinod, I hope that you are taking note. This is just incredible. Jerem, and then after Jerem, we'll go ahead and go to Vinod.
Yeah, so when I first heard the song, I just felt my heart open wide and tears come up from the energy that Vinod brought to his music. I was honored to have a few conversations with him during the time that he was composing it, and just really fun hearing his journey with this composition and his real dedication to what he wanted to create, what he wanted to bring as his divine conduit of Vinodness to this piece of music. And hearing about his conversations with his teacher, who encouraged him into his music. And this is something new for him in recent years. So I'm pretty blown away by just his staying with it and expanding it and expanding it. And I'm just honored to have that conversation and connection with him. So thank you, Vinod.
Oh, awesome. Vinod, are you able to unmute? I know that you're traveling today. I'm not sure that he'll be available to talk, but I wanted him to share last week. Yes, there you are.
Yes, thank you everyone. I listen everything I'm traveling. I'm very grateful to you. Thank you, Jigam. Thank you, Jayna. Thank you, Esther Francis, and thank you everyone. Thank you. I feel I am honored today, and thank you. I may not be able to continue with this meeting today. Extremely sorry. Thank you everyone. Bye.
I feel that we just barely touched in on this song, but I feel like that this song is just going to be rippling out through the whole entire Ancient Secrets community for a very long time, if not forever. Let's go ahead and rub our hands together and just deep blast of love and gratitude, and thank you for this incredible song and creation. It's beautiful.
So much.
Thank you.
Thanks. One other thing I wanted to say, which I said in the chat, is that it's a beautiful picturing of the effect of this community on the world. So beautifully portrayed, you know. Thank you.
It's so
Thank you
perfect.
once again. Thank you, everyone.
You know, Vinod, today in the US, it's Father's Day, and I believe that your daughter assisted you with this. Is that correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. She did. Yes.
Tell me what was her role in that, and how did you work together?
I downloaded most of the videos, and I told her to please edit this, and she was confused initially, and then we sat together. I told her to pray for 5 minutes. Forget about work. Let us pray together for 5 minutes. And then we just, after 5 minutes, we started doing the work, and there was some corrections has to be done finally, and we completed in a week's time. I think.
Oh my gosh, you created that in a week's time? Oh my word!
No, not the music, the editing part of it, the visuals, editing part of it.
Oh
Yeah,
my word.
thank you.
That's so amazing. You know, when you truly are tuned in to something that is yours to bring forth, it does roll. That you do get into that flow and it just comes forward. It's beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anything else
everybody.
that you would like to say about being a father or connecting? Do you have more than one daughter, or?
Yeah, right now I'm in this thing, middle of the function there, so I may not be able to share much today. Thank you. I will share some other time. Yeah,
Sounds
yeah.
good.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so
Namaste.
much for joining us, and please just
Namaste.
accept our gratitude. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. Well, I would like to do a marma. I know that we have a wonderful Marma group that joins every single week, and they do the Marmas. They practice them together as a group once a week, and they have expressed interest in us being able to do the Marmas on the Sunday call. Luke, would you like to share something about that? I'm not sure, Luke. Yep, Luke. is
Okay,
on.
I'm here. So at the Ashland event, it was my observation that a fair amount of people were not that privy to Marmas, even people who've been here for a while. And Marmas are a wonderful tool that we have for self-healing. And it really works. They're not necessarily immediate. Some are. This one for anxiety is pretty fast. But it's practice like anything else. If you're practicing a piano piece, you want to get good at it, you have to practice and practice. So the same thing with Marmas. So a group of us meet every Monday morning, and we practice the Marmas. And we've gotten really, really good at it, and we love to share it.
It's wonderful.
Is there any particular Marma you want me to share, or you just wanted me to talk about the group?
You know, is there a Marma today that you would like to share? One specific one?
Let's see. Well, we could do the What Do I Want Marma.
Sure.
Okay. So we're pressing the pointer finger on the right hand. Okay. Now, this is the way I do it. So first, you visualize a white frame over your right eye. And you put in there the words, what do I want? And you visualize it and see it clearly. What do I want? And press your finger here 6 times on the nail, on the fingernail. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Press again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. What do I want? Now, put into that white frame something that you want. But what I suggest is, and the way I do it is, put in there that it's already occurred. So instead of saying, I want this, say, I am this, I have this. In other words, it's present, it's already occurred. Whatever you want it to be. So put that into the white frame. I am, I have. It's already here. It's not in the future, it's right now. So put that into the white frame, see clearly, and press your finger 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Press again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now put something else into that white frame that you want, but it's already occurred. So just one more thing. So just put something there, whatever it is. It could be a visual, it could be the words. I am such and such. I have such and such. It's already here. Press 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, now move to the central part of the finger between the 2 knuckles. And as Dr. Clint has explained, this is the what do I want that is the highest priority for you. So put into the white frame your highest priority of what you want and see it as it's already occurred, and press right here in the central part of your finger between the 2 knuckles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now move to the bottom part of your finger, down here, between the bottom 2 knuckles. And this is, you've already achieved what you wanted. How will you feel? How are you feeling now that you've achieved what you wanted? And see yourself in there. You know, it could be jumping for joy. It could be whatever you want it to be. And then press down here 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You've already achieved it. One more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now let's pat ourselves here very good above the heart. Very good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, Luke. I so appreciate that. I know that one of the things that Dr. Clint wants is he wants to have this endowment fund set up. So I did post in the chat how you can donate to the endowment fund. I would like Vinay to come off mute. We had discussed about him showing Marmas today, and I actually have a little bit of a headache today and was wondering if he might be able to give me a Marma to be able to support that. Vinay, would you be able to do that?
Sure. First of all, I really want to share my gratitude to all the fathers who Happy Father's Day, and for all your dedication and the efforts you have to for all your life, for your family, for your children, without expecting anything. And as Jayna said very rightly, to all the single mother, because they have played a role of the father and mother. So my gratitude to all the single mother also. Thank you so much. For the headache, there are 2 points. First of all, here in the Dr. always show the pain marma on your left hand side. You have to take your hand like this things, and from the end of the pinky finger, and before your wrist end, between there is a point. We have to press 6 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Like acupressure. This is a reflex point, and the local marma for the headache is that you have to press here. Below this part, this circle, here it ends, and then if you feel the pulse over there, and then you have to press over there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So suddenly you feel that blood starts circulating and the headache goes up. So both the side, when you have the severe headache, you can press with both the side, and you can press 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this is for the headache.
Thank you so much. I can actually feel that it is going away. I think I was a little dehydrated yesterday, and I think that's the reason for the headache, because it's not a pitta headache, it's not a vata headache, and it's not a kapha headache. It's all the head. So I have also wanted to do this one.
Yeah, that you can do also. And also you can have the 1 teaspoon of the cumin seed, roasted cumin seed. That will also the best medicine for the headache, any type of headache.
Wonderful. I'll go ahead and get some cumin seed as soon as the call's over. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Jayna, Jayna, just want to mention, there's a wonderful Dr. Naram video on the 3 dosha headaches. I'll put the link to that YouTube video in the chat. And that's how I learned to do the 3 dosha headaches, by practicing it over and over again, the vata, pitta, and kapha headache. And he also talks about home remedies. So I'll put that link in the chat.
Thank you so much, Luke. Wonderful.
Thank you so much, Mr. Luke.
Great. Well, before we came on the call, and actually, I'll just say it this way. There are many people that I have communicated with over the years, over the 4 years that I've been involved in this incredible group, that have said that Dr. Naram was like a father to them. And I'm so deeply touched by that, because he had such love for everyone. I never met Dr. Naram in the body. He has come to me several times in the spirit, and he has that love that I experience. And I have asked Vinay, Vinay was with him for over 25 years and was his right-hand person. He was always there at whatever Dr. Naram needed. He was there, very good friend. And I would like Vinay to speak about that, and then also about his own experience of being a father to his daughter. So go ahead, Vinay.
Yeah, first of all, I would like to share the picture uh, about Dr. Naram and my master, spiritual master. Just give me a minute. Or Jayna, can you able to share that, please? Yeah, I should say that whatever I'm here today, whatever you can able to see, and because of these two people, they are my inspiration, my life. They are my mentors. They are my masters, and they are my father. I have no words actually to speak about them, especially about Dr. Naram. Oh my gosh. He is a person, if you sit with him just in a room without speaking anything also, his aura and his vibration is such that you feel like that he is carrying you for so much. My journey with him, my first lesson, the way he takes care of me, when I started my journey on the flight, we've been to the one of the city of the India, and then generally it happens that when you travel and if there is a little imbalance of the air when we are flying, suddenly we feel uh, pressure in our ears, and then we start having the pain in the ears. So while coming back, he told me these things. Now onwards, make sure that you always put a cotton in your ears. So this is a small thing, and he just observed me, and then he was telling me. Like he said one time to Dr. Marianji. Marianji was about to travel, and we went to Dr. Naram's father's place, and somehow and he's something that Dr. Naram, I don't know, it's a miracle or it's a God gift. He always used to come to know what other person is suffering or what other person needs. So though he's so busy, but he always observes the people. And he told Dr. Marianji, I think you have the high blood pressure. And Dr. Marianji says, my whole life, I used to suffer from the low blood pressure. Time goes, and then doctor was observing, and then again he asked Dr. Marianji, something is wrong. You have the high blood pressure. So finally, and I like this sentence of Mindy very much in the Ashland, just surrender. So Dr. Marianji said, okay, I surrender to you. And then we checked the pressure, and it was almost 160 by 95. And then we have done the Marma treatment. That's how my journey started to learn the pressure Marma, the blood pressure Marma. So throughout his journey, though, we know that, and this is the best part of him, when he was used to see the pulse. In his cabin, we used to have the 10, 15 people all together at that time. He's, and always those who around him always feel that Dr. Ram is 100% with me. If person sitting away from him also, then also, because the way Dr. Ram gives the attention, and whenever some child or some daughter comes, though it's a big in the age, Dr. Ram always tells to the patient or parents or to the husband that now she is my daughter, he is my son, don't worry about it. I know still there is before when I joined initially, there was one girl used to come from the Maharashtra part of the India, and she was in the situation of the uterus. At that time, Dr. Ram told to her parent that okay, she is my daughter, and I will take care of her, and I will make sure that one day she will develop a uterus and she will get married, and she will deliver a normal child. So Dr. Naram, till date, till his last breath, he kept his commitment. And that girl got married also, delivered a baby girl also, normal child. So like that thing. And Dr. Naram also was a good son to his master, Baba Ramdas. And then there is a Chunchun Baba, Paglanath Baba. So Baba Ramdas told Dr. Naram, after you achieve in your life, you have to pay back to the society. And you have to, and Chunchun Baba told him, you have to take care of all the children, those who are not having anyone, those who we called as an orphanage, but then we finally decided, my children, our children. So that's how Dr. Naram became a father of the many children, and we saw that in the Nepal. There are many our children, and Dr. Naram said that, yes, I am your father. Whatever you need, just let me. Likewise, my spiritual master, he is being a saint, and he, throughout his life, he has lived like Dr. Naram, because they both are the spiritually brother who they have that relationship of the brotherhood, and they have lived their life. Dr. Naram and my spiritual master both have lived their life for the others only. They never thought about themselves. And that's why everybody loves them. And lastly, being a father, it's a, I should say that it's a great feeling that you get a reason to live. You get a reason to cherish the moment with your child. And yes, my spiritual master, Dr. Ram, has blessed to my daughter, Swayam. Many of them have seen in person or through the picture and everything. And I'm really grateful to my spiritual master for giving me such a beautiful daughter. She is a female person, but she is like a tomboy. So that's why I always, after meeting Madeline, daughter of the Mindy, I always say to her that she is the Indian version of you, because my daughter is like a Madeline only. She is rough and tough. She never thinks about anyone. She just enjoys. So I'm enjoying my fatherhood. And yes, after meeting all the children at our home in Nepal, I definitely try to be the father of them also. Thank you so much.
Vinay, thank you so much. I feel that from you, that father connection. You know, I can see how the children could even, accept you as their father as well. It's interesting, we say the saying every single week, I love you and I'm with you. And a lot of people who come in new to the community don't know where that came from. And it was right after Dr. Naram had passed away, the orphan children were so devastated. They just felt like they were going to be alone and that nobody would care about them. And they were concerned about how were they going to have, their needs fulfilled. And Krishna and Dr. Clint sent out a video to all of the people who had, had donated and had been part of the visiting the orphanage, and asked them to send a video saying, we love you and we're with you, just to ensure them that they were not going to be left alone. And that's where that came from. You know what, let's just go ahead and rub our hands together and say, I love you and I'm with you. If you want to unmute, that'd be great. I love you and I'm with you.
I love you and I'm with you. I love you and I'm with you. And able to
Love you, Vinay. Love you. We love you.
Love you, Vinay.
Oh,
And I'm with you.
family.
You and I'm with
I love you and I'm with you.
Family.
Love you and I'm with you,
Vinay.
Love you and I'm with you.
And I'm really grateful
You're
to
amazing.
Dr.
I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you.
And I've said before leaving from the Ashland that I'm not going to my family. I'm going away from my family. So I'm I'm very grateful to Dr. Naram and Dr. Kling for giving me this beautiful family. Thank you.
Mhm. Oh, it's wonderful. Thank you so much. You really are. You walked in and you felt like family. It's just awesome. So thank you.
Jayna?
Yes,
Jayna,
Karen.
is it,
Yes,
can I
yes,
speak?
it is your turn.
Okay. I spent a long time last night thinking about fathers and thinking about all the men in this group. And I wrote it down a bunch of things. I just had to open my heart about this. So I'm not gonna read it, but I might have to look at my notes a bit. So I don't want to miss anything I wrote. And I hope Vinay is still on. I really want to acknowledge the men
I am
that,
here.
okay, good. I want to acknowledge the men who taught us and were there. I want to say thank you to them. So Dr. Clint, Dr. Giovanni, Dr. Vinay, Joseph, Tony, Lawrence, and Gary Zukoff, who became a member of our group through the incredible speech that he gave. These men represent Dr. Naram's statement, doing is doing. And they represent Dr. Naram in the best ways. Through service, through teaching, through continuous learning and working on themselves. And I know Dr. Clint is so kind, he's so generous, he really helps others grow. And he teaches us through experiences and through doing his processes with people. Dr. Giovanni is so loving, he's fun, he's so committed to helping others. And Dr. Vinay, he's so earnest and so professional in serving people. But I want to say, and I said this to him personally, he's really fun. He's got this great sense of humor, and you might not always see that on the Zoom, but he is just, I can't even explain it. He's just full of light and full of positive energy. He was so nice to be around. And all of you that I talked about, you really help us be happier and healthier. And Dr. Giovanni and Dr. Vinay shared experiences and observations of Dr. Naram that really made Dr. Naram so real to me. And I love that. And Vinay already said this, but when he said, I'm with my family, it made me cry. It really touched my heart that I really felt it, that he totally felt that he really feels that for us. And I left out Tony. I met Tony and Lawrence too, in that list. Tony shared by sharing his experiences of his own breakthroughs. And then he asked us to do breakthroughs too, through the breathing, if he chose to go to his class. And he's a very insightful man. Lawrence, his spirit and his intuition and his knowledge and his vulnerability, he reflected who we are as a group, because he shared his vulnerability by singing for the first time in 40 years, because he felt comfortable with us and he felt loved by us. And so that speaks a lot for this group. Joseph, he's a fabulous leader. He showed a lot of vulnerability, and I really appreciate that, Joseph. And he's always striving to improve, and I love that about him. Gary Zukoff, he was wonderful. His teaching, the whole group was spellbound by him. He was amazing, and he also showed his vulnerability. So what do these men have in common? They're authentic, they're smart, they're committed to service, they're in touch with their heart, their feminine side, they work on themselves, they're willing to be vulnerable, and they're all handsome. They're examples of real men, and I'm going to say they're the new macho, the open-hearted men, kind, loving, willing to be vulnerable, and yet strong and masculine. And I want to thank you all for exemplifying the best in men. Thank you for being and doing. And the world needs more open-hearted men. And I also want to speak to all the men on this group and all the men that were in Ashland. We're so lucky as women to have you be who you are. I mean, you give me hope for the world because of who you are as men. You're beautiful, you're wonderful. And I can't remember, I can't say all the men were there, but I got to be in touch with many of you. So I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love you.
Karen, thank you so much. You know, in the book, Dr. Naram was talking to Clint about Shakti and that women have Shakti because we're creators. But men have Shakti as well. When they are in a place of respecting women, they have Shakti. Their Shakti comes through. And Karen, that's exactly when you were speaking in gratitude towards them. It just showed me that their Shakti is just radiating. So thank you, men, for all of that. Karen had expressed after the event that she wished that she could have expressed some acknowledgement towards the incredible men that were at the event. And so thank you, Karen, for doing that today. It was so beautifully done. We are going to move now into, let me make sure that I haven't missed anything. Yes, I would like to, Dr. Susan, will you read just a couple of chats? One from Esther Francis. You know what, instead of that, Esther, will you come off the mute? At the beginning of the call, I asked the question, what's a memorable lesson or piece of advice that your father figure has given you that has stuck with you throughout the years? Esther, will you please share with us what that was for you?
Wow. Thanks for tears are coming to my eyes because my dad was really an extraordinary human being, and he exemplified a lot of the same qualities of the men that we're honoring here today. Community was his middle name, and he did things like we had this beautiful park in the center of Bridgeton where I grew up, but people were afraid to go in it because it had been neglected for so long. And he started a campaign bringing together all the various groups, you know, that were in the community, the Kiwanis, the Rotary, the Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, the 4-H. And he created an arrangement where he took prisoners that were in the local jail with him to the Bridgeton Park, and they worked together cleaning up all, you know, what needed to be done. And then I remember this one huge day, I was in the 4-H club, and our job was to make sandwiches for all the volunteers, but the whole town coming together. And then he was on the park commission for many, 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 many years, the head of it, and just restored the center of our town with nature. But the main thing, another thing I think of is we go to this little restaurant that was next to the Cohanzic River. And I remember one night we were there and they were really busy, and Dad knew the people, you know, the owners of and he just popped up off of the table and started bussing the tables, doing, you know, and he taught me early on that, you know, love has no boundaries. He was not biased or prejudiced against any particular group. He just, oh my God, he was such a advocate for me. Vinod, you mentioned tomboy. Well, that was me. I mean, climbing trees, riding horses bareback. My mom and my grandmother would have a fit, and my dad was let her be, you know. And I rode horseback, you know, without a saddle through orchards by myself growing up, and going into, you know, the Jersey swamplands and falling into the water, and the great love I have of nature and the sense of, I think, courage to move into the unknown that he really, I mean, I think of him every day. He inspired me, encouraged me, he defended me. And, you know, I drove him crazy in many ways. and, and just so much credit
Oh.
to him. And
So
then,
if you could
yeah,
say one thing, what was the one quality, the one thing that you remember every day that he gave you, that he influenced you?
well, he was so generous in so many ways. And I guess the thing is, I have this experience when I'm in public, what people call public. I don't feel there's any, you know, strangers. I feel there's a lot of strange people, you know, and in my authentic experience, I feel there's a lot of what I call zombification, a lot of people that kind of are under a spell and of fear and afraid to reach out. And at the same time, I feel there's no strangers, so I never feel alone wherever I go. I mean, it's just, and I'm pretty sure he modeled and exemplified that. And I got to grow up to see that in action, and that it encouraged that part of me, you know, to have life and not be suppressed, you know.
Absolutely. I absolutely see that in you. Esther, thank you so much. Our time is getting real short, but I wanted to ask Susan. Susan, you said that you had something you would like to share?
Thank you.
Oh, Joseph.
If you don't mind, I'll be
Yes, absolutely.
So I just wanted to offer a kind of an exercise or a moment. It's really gratitude that everybody on this call had a father, just like everybody had a mother. And everybody's experience was unique. And, you know, as I say, it's family, it's the good, the bad, and the ugly, or whatever, it's everything, and it's life. And so just for a moment, we can drop into your heart, called the cave of your heart, and you see the lineage behind you. On the left side is your feminine lineage. On the right side is your masculine image. And for one moment, turn to your father in their pure essence, their love, their form of love as you are. And you say, thank you for passing along the thread of life to me. I promise to do something with it.
It is beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
That was beautiful.
Thank you. I hope that you will go ahead and read the chat. We are so excited to be able to welcome Lawrence Katz and his son Abram to the call. And we would like them to go ahead and do, you know, to be able to share with us from here. Lawrence and Abram.
Yeah, we're unmuted. Hello. So good to see everybody. I'm still feeling the love from the conference. It was the most beautiful group gathering of my incarnation. I felt family with every one of you. It was beautiful. And what an honor it is to share the thing that has made me the happiest in this incarnation. And he's right here. So we're supposed to.
Yeah. No, we would love to hear. When we were in Ashland and I saw the two of you together, I was really taken by the level of respect that you offered to your son, and also the level of respect that he offered back to you. And I would like to have you share a little bit about your relationship and how you do that. And if there's any conflict, how do you resolve that? Yeah.
The first thing that comes to my heart is to share that I've spent a lot of years studying psychology and doing groups, and I trace back my family's abuse emotionally and physically 7 generations. And when I decided to have a son, I gave my word to divinity that I would raise him as he is divinity himself and learn from him and make him my teacher. And from the beginning of his birth experience, that has been the case. And he's still my greatest teacher. Why don't you say hi, Abram?
Hey everybody, it's good to see you. Thanks for welcoming us in the space. I liked the prompt Jayna gave us to talk about conflict resolution, and I've done a lot of restorative justice work in my career with youth and adults, and we kind of reframing it to living without conflict. And it's not running away from it, but it's more of prevention by creating an environment in which we can have healthy relationships. And from within that, we have the opportunity to see each other for who we are. And when we were thinking about talking to you guys, my dad came up with a lot of stories. And I wanted to give him the opportunity to share some of them because they're really sweet and endearing. And if we had, all day, we'll bring out this scroll of infinite cute stories. But these are just a couple that came up. So
it started out with his birth. He came out of the womb with his hands like this and looking at me, smiling. I had to turn away. His eyes were so bright. And then I caught him as he came out. And the feeling is beyond description of completion of why I was here on earth. And then I gave him a La Boye bath. We took and didn't cut the cord, the umbilical cord, for about 20 minutes and put him on his mom's belly so that he would bond with his mom. Then I went and took the cream that was on the body and licked it off so he feel the connection of stimulation and my scent. And then I gave him the boy bath, and he never cried through the whole birthing process. It was so beautiful and so enlightening. And I raised him as if he was divinity himself. And a lot of my friends got upset with me because I would put out a plate of food with 5 or 6 different items and let him choose what he wanted. And then he would take what he didn't want and make art projects with it and mix it all together and make something pretty. And all my friends are going, "You're spoiling him. He needs to learn to have discipline and to eat certain things that you tell him to eat because you know it's good." And I kept saying, no, he knows what's good for him. And so that eliminated the conflict right there of what to eat, how to be. I let him be. And then.
So you didn't need me to be compliant or be able to follow orders in order to create a peaceful environment. Kind of like
the opposite of that.
the opposite. So we're flipping everything. That's, I think, what my dad and I are all about, is kind of looking at that perspective of like, well, how do you keep things in order? It's like we actually let them blossom and bloom into what they're going to be in and of themselves, and then there isn't the conflict because we're not pushing against something.
We're learning from each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to just tell a couple of quick stories because I know there's limited time. When I used to drop him off at school when he was in high school, there was a pushback against, "Dad, you're too spiritual. I don't want any of this now. I'm a man." He was taking karate and on a football team. He made me drop him off 3 blocks before school because my van had blessings written in big letters on it. And instead of fighting that, I kept going, "Well, I'll drop you off, no problem." And you don't have to believe anything I believe, just find your own way. And by that, there was no conflict, just by allowing him to be. And then when he was a younger, I went to get venture capital for an invention that I made. And I walked into the office and the man said, "You can't have a 10-year-old boy in the room while we're having a business conversation." And I said, "He's not a boy, he's my partner." And I turned to Abram and I said, "Get your attaché case, and Dad's going to be in a meeting, and I'll let you know when we're done, and we'll go out and play." And the guy, for an hour and a half, I gave the pitch, and he goes, at the end, "I'm going to give you the money, but not because I really believe in your product. Anyone who's going to have a child sit and occupy himself for an hour and a half while we're having a business meeting, you must have something going for you." And he gave me the money. And he said, "How do you do that?" And I said, "Well, look out your window at the parking lot and watch what happens when we get to the car." And immediately I popped the trunk and we got out of gloves and start playing catch in the driveway. And he just waved out the window and said, "Now I see what you're talking about." And then another example of co-creation and letting go of the control. For his 18th birthday, we went to an adventure to Florence, Oregon, and we went into a crystal store. And we were in there for about a half hour, and we walked out. He turned to me and he said, "You didn't do that good, Dad." And I said, "What happened?" And he said, "All you did was talk about yourself and the crystals and the sanctuary. You never asked him anything about himself." And instead of going, "You can't talk to me like that," I went, "Let's go back into the store." And I went into the store and I said to the guy, "My son told me I didn't do a good job with you and being intimate and caring. Could I have a do-over?" And he looked at me and he just almost started crying as I talked to him and asking him questions. And he said, "I didn't know that you could have your son talk to you and that you would listen. No fathers do that." And I said, "Oh, he's my teacher." And it was just one of those moments in life where I went, I'm so glad I have him in my life to make me a better man. And it has made me a better man.
A question for you. Interview. How does it feel to break that cycle that you talked about? The cycle of fear, the cycle of abuse, and kind of what I was alluding to, the power and control as a way of taking away from people versus lifting them up. That was what you were offered as a youth.
Yeah, it broke the chain and started a whole new evolution of consciousness that everyone here has been talking about. We're coming into a place where we're all family. And just like the dolphins, when the baby's born, the whole pod owns and takes care of that baby as its own. And that's what Dr. Naram did. And that's what we're doing. Breaking the chain of the mind and releasing the power of the heart.
It is so true what you're saying. It's reminding me, and I don't remember where it is. I don't know whether it's in the book, but I remember Dr. Clint talking about Dr. Naram saying, Clint would hear him say, "My master said," and then give what his master had said. And Clint had said, to him, "How come, did your master say all these things? Who are, and he said, "Well, I have many masters." And he said, "Clint, even you can be my master if you have, something of value to share." And I see that with you, Lawrence, where your humility is at a place where you honor yourself and you honor the person in front of you. And in this case, your son, who has been a very great teacher. There's not a diminishing of, "Oh, this is my son, he's, my property," or, anything. It's just very respectful and honoring Abram as a being, and what an incredible being he is. So thank you for sharing those beautiful stories. Abram, what more would you like to add?
All right. My parents named me Abram, and it's a little bit different pronunciation, so I dropped that on behalf of my mother, because sometimes I just don't, but it's Abram, it's relaxing versus Abram. So that's it. Um, uh, when I was thinking about this talk, I like to not think, but what came up for me is just the passing of the baton, a lot of the teachings that my dad demonstrated, not really knowing that he was, creating or co-creating a being. I've taken into my practice and my work for the last 18 years. I've been working with youth and helping them, excuse me, helping them express themselves and be who they are. And using a lot of the teachings that my dad offered, and then also my own experiential knowledge of, witnessing when you allow people to be where they're at and celebrate what's present for them, it shifts, and it often shifts towards something positive. And when we, tamp down and create these really restrictive, hyper controlling, punitive systems, which are most of the systems in industrial culture, it crushes people's spirits. And people with crushed spirits are mad. You know what I mean? To use three-letter words, they don't like it. And so they have behavior issues. They act out. They are disruptive, and all these terms that we use in school. And so my favorite thing in working with young people is similar to my dad. I'm like, oh, wow, you need to interrupt me every second while I'm trying to give lecture. You must be a leader. And so I have a conversation with that young person, and they become my teacher's aide, and, basically empowering everyone to utilize their strengths. It's not something I invented, but it takes a moment of pause to recognize where people are at and position them to be able to be of service in a positive way to themselves and the community. So that's been a big practice of mine. And I'm currently kind of stepping away from working with, not away, but steering the ship slowly towards working with more adults, because all of the big kids say that they wish they could do some of the self-reflective narrative writing and math making and identity work that I'm doing with young people. So I'm working with the parents or just, the big kids, as I call them. We're doing this through community theater, and also really working on self as creator. And then so that shows up usually as lucid dreaming workshops and trainings. And that's something I'm really interested in offering globally. I've had quite a ride in the last 3 years. And again, it's just an observation of self as the creator, but also being of the creator, I guess. So we're creating, but the best way to create is to work with what's actually there, which is a raw spirit, that moves through everything. So there's a really fun kind of abstraction there that is great to work with for becoming our best selves.
That's
I think that's all
awesome.
I wanted to say.
So
Yeah.
tell me,
Doing
what
a good
is
job at it.
what is your greatest lesson that you gained from Lawrence?
Let's see. That's great. I'm glad I didn't think about this yet. I think it's what I teach, to use what's there, that everything is available as raw material for art, people as art. So I was going to say for birthing yourself, for sharing yourself, for bringing yourself forward. It's really just to be who you are. And I think Pops uses a term self-full. Someone says like, hey, you're really full of yourself, and you're really into yourself, and that's not okay. Pops use a term self-full. I'm self-full, which means I'm running a full circuit of divinity as I was designed, and not I'm not in conflict with it. So therefore, I'm being of the greatest service I can, again, to myself and others. And so I think it's pretty much breaks down to be yourself. Whether you're the purple guy or I don't know what I am, the art boy or something. You got to go with it, because, and you don't have to, but it's either painful or not. So that's what I'm experiencing. I'm 46 and I'm kind of taking a bit of a rest in my life, and I'm seeing all the places that I've been pushing into and pushing into and pushing into, meaning resisting what's here. And in the last month, I've been in Ashland just relaxing, and I've had more connections with friends and business opportunities and, all the good stuff than probably in the last 3 years of trying to make myself into something. Basically not taking my class, as my friend put it. He's like, what are you doing? Like forcing yourself, be like some abusive, terrible parent to push yourself into a mold. And so we get it when we get it. And I'm just starting to kind of see how I need to take my own class.
I think it's a place of evolution, I love what you guys represent. I coached for a large organization for over 15 years. And when I very first started coaching, I was doing that pushing, trying to get people to change. And it doesn't work that way. And when I finally recognized that I needed to accept and allow that person for who they were, I saw change begin to evolve. And I see that that's who you guys are as beings, is you're able to see the person in front of you for who they are, and you honor that. I love that story that you were talking about with the student, and Dr. Clint mentioned it in a call a couple of weeks ago, where there was a student who was disruptive, and Abram was up front trying to do the things that teachers do, and they role reversed. He said, okay, you come up here and be the teacher, and I'll come down there and be the student. And they role played this through, and the student got up and could see what Abram was trying to do, and was frustrated because Abram was in the audience making, ruckus and chaos. And finally they did another role reverse to be able to find out what exactly the student wanted. And then the student was able to engage because Abram understood him. And that's what these principles in this book are all about, is the greatest thing that people want more than love itself is to be heard and understood. And that's what we do. And that's why these principles are timeless, and they are so amazing how they really make a difference in this world. And I'm so grateful to you two men for emulating that and showing such a great example of that. Is there anything that anybody would like to ask Abram and Lawrence? Any comments that you have? Anything that came to your mind while they were speaking?
Sweet.
Shifra, did you have something you wanted to say?
I just thought it was very beautiful. I really, oops, wait, I lost the picture. I just really commend you, Lawrence or Larry, that you raised your son that way. It's really beautiful to see. I never really heard of anyone raising their child quite like that. And it's just fantastic. And I commend you, and we need a lot more of that in this world. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you. Ariana.
Yes, it was so beautiful, your share, Lawrence and Abraham. I just loved it. I have always felt my son was my greatest teacher. And, when you stop, you listen, and you humble yourself, it's the greatest, greatest gift. And I have experienced more change and transformation just listening to what my son had to say, like that example you gave, Lawrence, where, you went back in and gave the lecture. You said, oh, okay, because Abraham had pointed out, some things, and you listened and you went back in, and then, that's what it's all about. And I've gained so much from listening to my son. And sometimes, I'm still working on ego. I love my ego, but I'm still working on making sure it sits in the back seat of the car. If you know what I mean. And so I'll watch my mind, and then I'll stop and I'll go, listen. He has truth that he is sharing with you. And then I really listen, and then I really change, and I evolve. And we have a beautiful relationship, and that it is two-way, and he's 41 at this point, and it's so beautiful. And when we can extend that outside of just our relationships with our sons or families on into the world, that's exciting. So thank you so much. A beautiful share.
Thank you. Luke.
So Abram, you know your father from your own relationship and your own experiences, and sometimes it's nice to get a perspective from others who've had experiences with him. And I just want to let you know that I feel your father is one of the most amazing beings I've ever met in my life. The Friday morning after the event we had in Ashland, I had an energy session with him, and I've had energy sessions at other times in my life, but nothing even remotely comes close to my experience with him, what he's done for me. And the work that he does is incredible. His mind, his sensitivity, where he is. And I just want to let you know that I and many others adore your father as one of the most amazing beings that we've ever met. I just want to let you know that. Thank you.
Received.
Thank you, Luke. Leonore.
Yeah, good morning, everybody. This was very, very beautiful, and it still is to this moment. I'm very touched. I attempted to also be a mother. I was a single mother pretty much most of the time. And I told my son actually early in his life that there was no ownership, that I was just a steward of a guide, but no ownership, like a lot of parents speak in that terms about their children. And to your relationship, father and son, Abram and Lawrence, there is a great divine presence that makes this so special, that not all parent-child relationships can assume, as you did so full-heartedly from the first minute that he was born, because there is that fear when we slip up as a parent that the child would take advantage of it. And there is that balance when people are not as evolved. I am not as evolved as you are, Lawrence. And then it can become treacherous, that the child and the mother or the parent come into choppy waters, and that total peace that you have had all life long gets disturbed, or trust is not there anymore for a time being. So thank you for sharing this. And I am reminded of some high teachings from India here. Of course, you haven't spoken about Abram's mother, except that she was there when he gave birth, but there is this karmic lineage, and when that's right, that aids this. So we are not the sole doers. And if we slip up and our relationships do not turn out so perfect, and I miss my son, I am very disconnected from him and he from me. And I want to add that other part, that we still don't despair, even when it doesn't work out so beautifully like your relationship does. We all have the best intentions, and I'm very happy to meet both of you. Thank you.
So beautifully said, Leonore. Thank you so much for sharing such personal things. So grateful for that. Thank you. Robin, if you'll get the breakout rooms ready, and we'll have Susan and Joseph speak.
They're ready. You're gonna want the video or not?
Yes. I don't remember what video it is.
I think maybe.
Oh,
Vinay-
yes. Oh, yep. You're right. Let's do the video. And then Susan and Joseph will speak. Thank you for reminding me.
Hi, I just wanted to, Lawrence and Abram, that was so beautiful and it created such a healing energy. And it made me just drop into the place and the knowing about people who have not had the kind of connection and relationship to their fathers that maybe they had wished for. I didn't have that.
Their sons.
Or their son, okay, or their sons. And you know, my father was a phenomenal teacher to me, but unfortunately he was a negative, or I won't say unfortunately, he was a negative teacher for me. And I got to learn what I didn't want in life from those experiences. And that's important. But I just wanted to name, and all this love and all this honoring and all this caring, that sometimes the relationship can bring up pain and it can bring up loss and grief. And it's all here. It's all in the mix for healing and for bringing in this beautiful positive energy. And I just want to thank the men, of course, that are doing something very, very different about the masculine, because unfortunately the masculine has gotten so distorted in many ways on this planet. So I don't want to ramble. I just wanted to name that this could be painful for some of us, and just want to honor that and name that. That's all.
Susan, thank you so much. Wonderful. Great. We are going to go into breakout rooms. Vinay had a beautiful video, just a really short cartoon, but I don't want to show it on Facebook Live. So let's go ahead and say, I love you and I'm with you, or say our goodbyes, and then we'll turn off the videos, and then we'll show the video and then get ready to go into the breakout rooms.
Jayna, could we rub our hands together and give lots of love to the two men?
Absolutely. Let's do that first.
I'm with you.
Love you
I
and
love you.
Everyone, I'm with you.
Thank you,
Abram and
brother.
Laura.
We love you and with you. Whenever
Thank you, Lawrence.
And I'm with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
love you and keep feeling
I'm
amazing.
with you.
Love you, love you, love you.
I'm with you. Love you and I'm with you.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
I'm with you.
Love you and I'm with you.
Wonderful. Wishing all of you fathers a very happy Father's Day. For those who celebrate, we'll go ahead and turn off the recording. And let's see, where's the recording? There we go.